Hi everybody, it's Lynn. This is part 2 of my notes from the Abraham Hicks event in Tarrytown, New York this September 2025. Meanwhile, I have on the shirt Joy from a great musical. Maybe it's off. It was off Broadway. Maybe it stopped, but now. But I like the message: find, create, spark, joy. There was about Joy Mangano, the entrepreneur, who's very positive-minded and into, I believe, attracting things. But anyway, so part 2 of the Abe Hicks event, of my notes and my understanding. Hopefully it helps you to find some hope and positivity in this world lately. And here we are at the park today. Again, different park. Always good to get back outside in nature. For the nature helps you to get back in balance, grounded, recentered, instead of always in the thought loops. Okay, so Abe Hicks, my notes continued. Law of attraction brings you the match of the frequency that you've been emitting, and that frequency is from your thoughts and your feelings. The most frequent ones are the ones that interact most with the law of attraction and bring you what you want or what you don't want. But there is a buffer of time, so you don't have to be afraid of your thoughts. Just do your best to redirect them to what you do want, or to distracting yourself from the negative thoughts. If you stay in a frequency of lack and a focus of lack, or thinking and focusing on lack in your life, what you don't have, that's why manifesting what you do want is coming slowly. So focusing on what you don't want is making things come slowly. So focus more on what you do want, what you do have, with gratitude and appreciation for what's easy to look at that is abundant in your life, or just satisfying in your life. And that helps you to attract the good things, get in line with the blessings that God already has for you, according to this philosophy. And just so it's more about keeping with the feeling of what you do want and what you're trying to manifest. It's that feeling sends out like these vibrations, energy vibrations, that help to attract what you do want. And I have an example of this. Actually, I'm going to give you this example. After this workshop, when I was on my way home, I had to go take the train from Tarrytown, New York, Metro North through Manhattan. And then in Manhattan, I had to get my way home to Brooklyn. So I was on my way home on the Metro North train after the seminar. I really wanted quiet to think, but it was a Saturday early evening, and there were a bunch of 20-year-olds, teenagers who were looking to party. They were on their way into Manhattan. They were very loud and talkative, and there was also, which is understandable, I mean, the different time of life they're in and I'm in, so they were very loud and boisterous. And then there was also a cute little toddler who was about 5 years old, and he was screeching at the top of his lungs on one direction, on one side of me, behind me, and these kids were yelling, cheerfully, but on the other side. And in my head, I'm just thinking, I just want out of here. I want quiet. I was looking forward to a nice, peaceful trip home, looking out the window at the views, at the lakes, at the trees. So usually I would just keep getting into that aggravated focus, and like, I can't believe this, I can't stand this, listen how loud that one is, this one is, this stinks, I just had a nice time, right? So, but I stopped myself because of the seminar, and what she was saying is, instead of focusing on the lack, focus on feeling what you do want, feeling it in advance, feeling it right now. So I'm trying to practice that. So I started right then. I was like, well, what do I want? I want a quiet commute home. I want to feel, wouldn't it be nice if, and then feeling that feeling of if it was quiet, how would it feel? I was thinking, oh yeah, if it's quiet, I would feel relaxed. My shoulders, something like this, my shoulders would be relaxed. It would feel like a relief. It would be so enjoyable and, so calming and so pleasant. And I'd look out the window and really savor the trip and the views out the window. It's so convenient, this trip and everything, and it's working out well, and it would be so relaxing to ponder that information still from the lecture. So I just thought about that for maybe 2 minutes, and then I happened to realize, and I also let go of it having to be that way. I was just like allowing the noise or the sounds and trying to focus on, satisfying things about the ride anyway. Then it turned out, maybe 5 minutes later, all of a sudden those teenagers were still there, but they got quiet. They quieted down. So now there wasn't all that noise. And then I noticed the young boy, the toddler, and his parents are starting to walk out of the train next to me. They were leaving. They got off the train. So now I didn't hear the kid. I didn't hear those teenagers. It was finally quiet, just like I felt in advance. And then so that was the first manifestation. Second thing was, it also gave me the idea of when I was picturing feeling quiet. I was like, oh yeah, that would feel like it feels like when I'm on the express bus coming home from Manhattan going to Brooklyn. The express bus, just for a couple of dollars more than the train home, would be quiet and relaxed and convenient, comfortable bus. Yeah, that feels the same way. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should see if that express bus is available. I don't know about the schedule, whatever, but so I checked online. It turned out the schedule, the time that my train from Tarrytown would get into Grand Central in Manhattan, it would be like 1 minute before the express bus would leave, 4 blocks away from that Grand Central. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna have to run and 4 blocks in 1 minute. I don't think I could do that, get there in time. But I let it go, and I allowed the idea of taking the train home to be okay and doable, right? Don't force and don't be attached to it must be this way. That's, I think, part of the miracle formula. So kind of let go and let God, right? So anyway, I forgot about that, the express bus idea, but it turned out when I got off the first train in Manhattan, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pass that express bus stop anyway. Let me see, maybe got stuck in traffic. I walked toward the express bus. I saw a lady at that station, at that stop. I asked her, did you see my bus pass yet? She said no. Okay, so that means that it must have been hung up in traffic. I wound up waiting only about 10 minutes, and my bus came even before the lady's bus came. She was waiting there a long time. I only had to wait about 10 minutes, and my bus was stuck in Midtown Manhattan traffic on a Saturday evening. And because of that, my timing, the synchronicity, everything lined up, and I was able to get a quiet ride home on the express bus. So that is my manifestation part 2 from doing that Abraham activity suggestion of feeling the feeling of what you do want before it happens, and then you start to shift the energy of where you left that topic, and then you can get in line with God's blessings that are already lined up for you, waiting for you to shift what you're emitting so you can allow it in. So that was the end of that story. Hope that's inspiring. Thank you.